Hey everyone, Egman here, and I'm with someone I met at St. Louis, Ryan Schultz. Is that actually how you say your name?
Schuldt.
Schultz. Okay, I'm so sorry.
That's all good.
And he was running a very unique baby build this weekend. And you might have seen his gameplay on round two of the live stream. And I thought the deck was really cool. Someone I came with, he's like, man, I really like this guy's deck. He played you first round, and I definitely misheard him, and I thought he said like, oh yeah, I totally know this guy from before this event, and you should have him on the show. And then I think the first words for you like, hey, do you know who Kipp is? And you said no. So, but anyways, Ryan was super gracious, or not super gracious, super generous to let me see his deck list and come on and talk about it. So here we are.
Sure, glad to be on.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
Fantastic.
Good. So we also have this is the deck he ran. He's already updated it like 4 days later. But we're going to talk about the main deck, and then we'll talk about the changes he made and kind of why he did that. So let's start off. So the baby leader, for people who don't know, the front side is he attacks the leader card, draws a card, and untaps 2 when he awakens. And then the back side is the rampaging Great 8 baby. He had one unique thing is he gets the Saiyan tag, so you can run Unending Awakening, which I think is really powerful, and Ryan can probably attest to. And then also, when it attacks, you choose one of your battle cards and one of your opponent's battle cards, and they both lose 10k power for the duration of the turn. So that's also can be really powerful for removing stuff, especially if you have an empty board and your opponent doesn't.
So you actually have to have a card
Oh,
on your
you do?
field
Okay.
in order to target one of their cards.
Okay. Well, never mind. I don't play this deck.
That's okay.
So, and to be honest, I've been looking at these baby cards and making sure, trying to commit to memory what they do, but they aren't super popular, and most of the reason that is because they're restricted to Machine Mutant only cards. And there's Baby is one, and the other one is Doctor Mew, which was released in set 3. So, first, what made you choose Baby instead of Doctor Mew?
So, Baby, other than Doctor Mew is actually a really interesting leader, just because you can cheat, cards out for free.
Yeah.
But the main reason I chose Baby over Doctor Mew wasn't really in my radar. Was strictly because of Revenge Death Ball.
Okay, yeah. That is a super powerful card.
It's the way that the format currently is set up, where it's a lot of aggro and a lot of low-cost cards that come out very cheaply, and a lot of boards get very wide very quickly. And also, his Awakened side allows you to clear the board without spending much resources.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense to me. And like in a post, like I don't want to say like we're in a post Shugesh meta right now, but since people are kind of more of afraid to run Shugesh in their main board, I feel like a lot of people are getting like too confident with like saying, oh, I can attack with my guy and combo as much as I can without being afraid of it dying. And Revenge Death Ball really kind of changes that. And so for people who don't know, when you combo with cards, the attack power doesn't get added to your guy until after the combo step. So if you attack with something with like 15k or less, and then you combo 20k onto it, Revenge Death Ball still kills the card. Some people might not know that ruling, and I remember at first like, oh, is that really how it works? And I was surprised that was the case. So that's why it's really powerful, and I think that's why like Baby can kind of run its kind of more mid-range control style. Because is that what you'd say this deck is kind of geared towards, that kind of play style?
Mostly yes.
Yeah.
It's mostly geared toward mid-range. And the main target was the blue-yellow Hourigan deck.
Yeah, yeah.
That's, I expected a lot of people to be playing it.
Yeah.
And Revenge Death Ball really punishes them for going too ham.
Yes, it really does. So I definitely agree with that. And Yeah, and I say mid-range control because right now mid-range is so slow compared to aggro. It is might as well be control, but
Right.
uh,
I mean, the most energy that I'm spending for one card is 4 energy.
Sure. Yeah.
In this deck, and that's to evolve the big ape.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm only spending 2 energy to play a card.
Yeah. And that's how I feel like most of the game is, because like you don't even play Gohan probably. You probably get him out easier by chain attack Trunks into him, right?
That is exactly right.
Yeah. All right. So let's go through kind of the core of the deck, and then kind of I guess some of your meta picks. So first is the 1-drop Baby Vengeance Unleashed. So he is a Union Absorb. You choose one of your battle cards, and then you evolve him into you essentially evolve him into the 4-drop, right?
Yes. So you Union Absorb a character trait that is you can Union Absorb any battle card on your field.
Yes.
And then you get to search your deck for a card that has the same character trait as the one you put under it. That is 4 or less. Okay.
So you can do so the only one that can really come out is the 4-drop Saiyan Strength Baby, and you can do that with another one of the 1-drops or one of the 2-drops Daily Training Vegetas. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Or even the 4-drop itself.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's right. And it comes out in active, so I can see how that could be important to.
As long as the 1-drop Baby Vengeance Unleashed is inactive, when you Union Absorb, it's going to be coming out on top of that card. So if that card's inactive, then the card that it's brought out is also in active mode.
Yes, and then additionally, when the Saiyan Strength Baby comes out, it blows up anything with 20k or less attack.
Yes, so it gives an opposing battle card minus 20k for the turn, which is very important that it's for the turn.
Yeah.
And a bonus is that you actually get to draw a card.
Yes. Oh yeah, you do get a draw card. Okay. And then additionally, there is the Golden Great Ape Baby, and so it's an Evolve 4. It has double strike, and then and it's 30k, so it's really powerful. But when you play this card, and then when you're here, I'll let you explain it.
Okay.
You might be a little bit more familiar.
So he has triple strike.
Okay, triple strike. Okay.
So he has an auto once per turn. Pretty much whenever he swings, you draw a card, and then you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards and give it minus 20.
Okay.
So it's the same effect as the 4-drop Saiyan Strength Baby, except it's on swing.
Yes. Okay.
And also, there's a really cheeky or that they put in there. Where it's when he attacks or when your opponent plays a battle card.
Okay.
So it's on my turn, when I swing, I get to draw a card, give an opponent's card minus 20. Or when my opponent plays a battle card, I get to draw a card and give one of their battle cards minus 20.
Okay. Additionally, if they should guess something on your turn that is playing a card, and so they can blow something up, you can blow something up, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's just like a corner case I thought of as soon as you started explaining it. So, but yeah, so that's, and when they play something, you don't have to target the thing they play.
That is correct.
Okay, but it's the first time they do play something, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is correct.
All right. But yeah, a very powerful. Like, how often would you say we were able to get him out? Or was he more of a win more card?
I actually beat my first round opponent with this card. So I actually hit him with the triple strike for game.
Dang. Yeah. I'd say like triple strikes, a lot of people aren't taking that in consideration right now. They usually stay at 3 lives thinking, okay, the worst they're going to do is double strike, right? But yeah, I'd say getting something out with triple strike can be really punishing if they don't have a negate or weren't expecting it.
Yeah.
All right, so that's kind of the core of the deck. Just the way that it's able to blow up stuff while also keeping pressure is kind of why it's a mid-rangey deck. And then there are some support cards, such as you have the Chain Attack Trunks line, and you have like a couple of targets. Actually, it's pretty much Daily Training Vegeta are burst attacks on Gohan, as I can see.
Zeno.
Oh, and Zen. Oh, yeah, obviously, yeah.
That's your big target.
Yes, that is your big target. And then you're only running Scientist Fu as your main board over Realm. Would you say that was a good choice? I know usually people say you should run Fu, either drop the this one or the double strike one that blows up a card. But since you have so much inherent card destruction right now, I can see why just the card draw is the most important.
Yeah. The main reason why it's such a heavy count of Fu is after you survive the onslaught from the aggro decks, whether it be Trunks or Harudigan, you need to have Scientist Fu in your hand.
Yes.
Because like a lot of times you'll only have 2 energy, and you don't want to burn both your energy playing a daily training Vegeta to draw a card, or even chain attacking.
Yeah.
That's not the most optimal use of your energy. You want to be able to use 1 energy to get a double strike attacker.
Yeah, because he's besides your 4-drop and your 6-drop, he's the only double strike in the deck, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Yeah, and that's really why Scientist Fu is really so powerful. Just because, kind of like Kaba, he's a 1 energy double strike, which can be really important if you survive a Harudigan player, because they probably only have 1 or 2 energy left, or life left, anyways. So, cool.
The reason why Kaba is not in this deck is because you can actually take yourself to 1 life. Because if you play Kaba and you swing and you only have 1 life, well,
yeah,
Kaba's kind of useless at that point.
Yeah, it's definitely. And since you have intensifying power Trunks, I think that's better. And honestly, right now, for turn 1 or turn 2, I think critical is way more important than double strike. It's a lot more of a kind of a card resource meta right now, because if you hit your opponent for 2 life, your opponent will probably be really happy to get those 2 cards instead of getting critted for 1. So I
honestly think it depends on what leader is on defense.
Sure.
So like an SS3 deck, they're going to defend. They're basically going to dump their hand to try to defend to not take the double strike.
Yeah.
And any other deck is probably just going to take the crit because they're starting at a higher life total.
Yeah.
You can sort of play around that.
Yeah, that's very astute. Anyways, you wouldn't want to have too many self-awakening those, especially since you're not as aggressive as other decks right now. Let's see. Lastly, Kaba's Awakening. You ran 3 of. What do you think about this card?
It was nuts.
I wasn't sure. I heard the end, so I'm like, oh, is he gonna say not good, or was?
Oh, it is the nuts.
Okay.
Being able to, so it's a lot of the plays that the Harudigan players make, and a lot of the aggro players make, is you always expect them to be swinging for 10, and then they either combo a bean, which they should be putting it on their leader, or they combo an unyielding Trunks to untap their yellow. So when they combo that to 15, you just sit there and you go to 16.
Yeah.
and you keep your life total high.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems it's despite it just being 6,000, it's secretly a 10K combo for free.
Yes. It is essentially, quote unquote, a 0-cost 10K card.
Yes.
It's not great on offense. It really shines on defense.
Okay, yeah, and that's kind of why I like it, and especially with Unending Awakening too, just being able to boost your leader up to on the defense side, I think is really important for this kind of. I'll say slower, but once again, it's not super slow.
Right.
All right, let's jump into the side deck. So you ran 2 Plant M2, 2 Fearless Pan, 2 of the Mini Jiren Vegeta, or not, Mini Jiren, 2 of the actual Jirens, 2 Miraculous Comeback Ultimate Gohan, 3 Cronoa, and 2 Force Ejection Mass Saiyan. So we talked a little bit before this that you didn't think you didn't like Jiren that much. You never played him. But you did like the 3-drop Vegeta. You thought that card was really good.
Yes, it is much cheaper. Like, it being a 3-drop versus a 4-drop is actually very important in the compressed format.
Sure.
And also being able to bring it out with chain attack is very important.
Yes.
Because then you have 2 attackers that can attack cards in active mode. Because chain attack can attack cards in active mode, just like the championship pack Vegeta.
Yes. Yeah. Let's see. Fearless Pan. I could see her being like really good both defensively and offensively. Did you ever side her in this weekend?
So I actually never sided in Fearless Pan.
Anything else while I'm on the topic? So you didn't side in Fearless Pan, or anything else you didn't side in?
I sided in everything else.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty much just Jiren and Pan, which were dead cards in my sideboard.
Okay.
I would have liked Fearless Pan or Jiren to be Furthering Destruction Champa.
Okay. Yeah.
That's one of the changes that we'll talk about later.
Yes.
But Planet M2 is very good against SS3. Because even if you're unawakened, like say you play it on turn 1,
yeah,
because you know you're not going to die on turn 1.
Yes.
Then your leader is always putting pressure on their leader.
Yeah.
Just 10 swinging at 10, and you always force them to burn a card.
Yeah.
Planet M2 is it's a disgusting card when you get it early. It just adds so much card advantage because you force your opponent to burn cards to basically use cards that they wouldn't otherwise use.
Yeah, it's kind of like the idea of Bean, right? Because it can, for one card, it can be a 5K, several times. So I can see why it can be so important to, especially in a game where you expect to live past turn 3 or 4. So.
Oh yeah.
Cronulla is obvious. Did you see much Shugesh this weekend? Or
I saw 0 Shugesh.
Nice.
So 3 more dead cards on my sideboard.
Like, I feel like you still have to put her in. Like, it's such a. I almost feel like it's a catch-22.
It's too big of a risk.
Yeah.
I will not take that risk.
Yeah, and I've been. I don't know if you've been playing any with some of the cards that's been spoiled, but there's some Jackie Chun decks coming out that really, you can Shugesh the 3-drop Goku from the set that also summons the Oob, who KOs 2 cards under 20k. So, a little fun combo for. I was playing that today, and I was like, I was feeling so confident, like, oh, he's just running Jackie Chun. He's got a big old hand. He can't beat me, and then boop. So. And then Force Ejection Mass Sane. Did you play him against SS3? Because it's only good against SS3 if you're going second.
Yes,
in this
deck. That's correct. I sided it in. I only played it, I think, once. And it was actually really good.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I didn't side it in the other time that I played SS3. Because I was going first.
Okay, yeah. Because it's dead otherwise.
Yeah.
So, cool.
Other than that, the sideboard was actually pretty good. Miraculous Comeback Ultimate Gohan is a sick card that nobody plays.
Definitely.
But it's really good in the control matchup.
Especially like if they have like a free blocker, you wait, it can't attack cards in active mode, right?
It cannot.
Okay. Well, if they have a free blocker to think they're safe behind, then it's just a secret double striker.
Right. Yeah, it's actually worse for them to block.
Yes.
With like a 5k chump blocker.
Because that's
than to just
10k in the hole.
Right.
So, well, cool. So let's switch over to the deck that the changed version real quick.
Yeah, we can talk about some of the neat interactions as well.
Oh, with the
just with the whole deck in general.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So
different plays that you can make.
Yeah, go for it.
So first we're going to talk about the changes that I made.
Yeah.
As I mentioned previously, not having Furthering Destruction Champa for that surprise double strike factor, I think really hurt my win percentage. strictly because they could always see the multiple strike card coming,
Mm-hmm.
which meant that they were always ready for it.
Sure.
And almost every time when they would be at 2 and I would swing with my leader, they wouldn't negate it,
Mm-hmm.
and they wouldn't block it either, because they knew that they're just only going to take the 1 damage.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's Destruction Chomp is like always a card that I like. I'm always hesitant to put in because like, oh man, it could just be like a dead 1K combo. But I think you win more by having him useful than lose. Let me try again. I think it's better that you win more with him in your deck than the amount of losses you get because he's a dead card in your hand.
I agree.
So it's I think it's necessary right now.
And the second added card was M2.
Mm-hmm.
M2 I think is actually good enough to run in the main deck.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the 1 copy is, where if you see it early, you know, cool, it's a 5K combo every single turn for free, essentially.
Yeah.
And can really just straight up win you the game.
Mm-hmm. I wish it said just Machine Mutant, because it only works for... You only draw the card if you have Dr. Mew as your leader, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That seems too restrictive to me, but that's okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, you trade off M2 versus Death Ball.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather take Death Ball.
Yeah, that's
drawing a card with M2.
That's totally fair.
So, yeah. So in order to fit the 2 Furthering Destruction Champa and the planet M2, I just cut 1 across the board. So I cut 1 Bodyguard Legic, 1 Kaba's Awakening, and 1 Unending Awakening.
Okay. If you could put more planet M2s in, would you?
I would try to find room for a second one.
Okay.
So there's 1 in the sideboard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or the control matchups, which in the control matchups I side out Kaba's Awakening and Bodyguard Legic.
Yeah.
Strictly because those are my I need to survive this turn 2 kill deck cards.
Yeah, and I'll say 4 cards that really speak to me. So you put 2 Fu, Shroud and Mystery into your sideboard. I really like that. I think that's fun.
Yes. So, one of the toughest matchups I think currently for the deck is Mono Blue SS3, and I think that deck is only going to see more play as the tournaments go on because of how strong it is.
Yeah.
And so during my final round, this was game, I forget what game it was, but I had like 8 or 9 energy up, which I was, I don't expect to have that much energy in this deck where I had no idea what to do with it. And I had a huge drop in everything, and every single time I would swing, he would either negate it or Mafuba it, and it felt really bad.
Yeah, that'd be like the thing that I most experienced with too, like having like more than 3 energy. Like I'm like, whoa, what am I supposed to do with all this energy? Like I feel overburdened with potential here. So I think that's really cool. If it doesn't get across, it doesn't get by the new Vegito, correct? Because that's a permanent and not an auto.
What's the permanent on that?
If it's in rest mode, you can only attack the Vegito.
Let me put that up.
All right.
So
because Fu only stops autos from activating and keyword skills. Is that correct?
Yes, it's on any. I think Fu is just any skill.
Okay.
Double check. So Fu says your opponent can't activate skills on cards other than their leader card until the beginning of your next turn.
Okay, and I think because it's a permanent Vegito, it doesn't activate. It just always happens. Does that make sense? So. You'd still have to combo over Vegito, but they wouldn't be able to have their super combos or their beans on him, so that helps out that. And I don't think they'd be able to activate blockers either.
Yeah, I know that they can't activate blockers.
But still, one of my favorite cards. Just the whenever I'm at playing someone and they're at 6 energy, I like immediately like, am I gonna get food? Like,
So actually, during the first round on Saturday,
yeah,
um,
versus our boy Kipp, right? You know him.
Yes, versus Kipp. He actually played Foo in game 1.
Oh dang!
And I went from 4 to 1. And then on my turn, I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
But then I just passed with all of my energy up. And then he got really sad because he realized that Death Ball was live again.
Oh. Like even the fact that Death Ball does the minus 15k is hard enough, but it gives your leader plus 10k too, right?
Right.
So it is a 1 energy 25k combo for your leader. Like that is very scary. And then okay, the other card that I saw was the Grand Evil Absorption Majin Buu, which I think was spicy. So you'd have to. Does he have an evolve on Gohan?
Yes.
Okay.
So you have to evolve him on a Sun Gohan Adolescence.
Okay. So it can be the burst attack that you run in the main, or it could be the miraculous comeback that you have in your side.
Mm-hmm.
And how much is the awaken? Or evolve? Sorry.
The evolve is for 6. So
okay.
It's actually on the expensive side.
Okay.
But your payoff is very worth it if you have more than 6 energy.
Yes, because it gets dual attack, and then if it uses the miraculous comeback, you get you get to deal damage if you kill any of your opponent's cards, and then if it's the burst attack, you have critical, and you can pretty much dump your hand, and then you draw 2, and you can dump your hand again, which can be really powerful.
Yep, and yeah, it's really good.
So.
I suspect it to be really good.
Okay,
I don't know how like. So I would side that card in
against SS3.
Yes.
Okay.
Only against mono blue control. Like against blue green, I don't think I would side it in because it's too slow.
Yep.
But a lot of times during those. Like my last round opponent made a funny comment after game 1, where he's just like, "I am siding out every card that doesn't have barrier." I was like, "Shoot."
He figured me out.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons why Foo is probably the only card that Foo doesn't get around is that Vegito, which makes me very upset. That it's a permanent. Yeah.
Now, if you're really scared of that, you could run that Frost, because Frost, since you're running red, it wouldn't be outrageous for it, but it is for important energy.
Yeah, the Frost would actually probably be sided in for seeing hit.
Oh, okay.
Because that card didn't really do much for me when I played it.
Yeah. I feel the same thing. I have a playset of it. I was really excited for it, and I just play for seeing hit, and I look like, oh, I can't attack for game yet. Okay, cool. Right. I'll hold back, and then I never felt like I could.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and like the interesting thing about Foo is if they do have barrier cards in play, then your leader power. Your leader power decrease and Death Ball and Planet M2 become live.
Yeah, because Foo doesn't target. It just says everybody.
Yes. Everybody for my turn and your turn.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, because I could see that just with just your leader in general. Like you could attack with Foo, and then you don't care about his attack power anymore, so you can just put his down. So. Do you wanna go into some of probably the cute combos that I probably missed or didn't think of?
Sure. So the first sort of cute combo is with the intensifying power trunks this card itself.
Yeah.
So this card, the 1-drop Kaba, the 1-drop green Gohan, when they swing, they gain 10,000 power for the turn.
Yes.
So you can swing with it, and then you can And then if you're awakened, you can swing with your leader, and then you can just take off that 10,000 power on your side.
Yeah.
And then you get free reign to target whatever you want on your opponent's side of the field.
Yeah, that's really powerful, just because you don't have to lose a potential card for that. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been seeing there's that Toa that untaps something that's 2 or less, and I've been seeing some people trying to get some spice with the trunks or not, because it's not a once per turn either. So you can second attack, you can take another life, and then it's what is it, a 25k crit?
Right. I actually had an opponent at Gen Con.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing Baby, and he was playing the Vengeance, the 1-drop card that untaps. What's it called?
Untaps a 2 or less, 3 or less. I know the one. It's the one with like the thing growing on Vegeta's cheek, right?
Yeah, Vengeful Onslaught.
That's what it is.
So he played. His whole deck idea was just to get Kaba on the board, swing, stand it back up, swing, stand it back up. No, swing, stand it back up.
Yeah.
I didn't bother to read Vengeful Onslaught.
Yeah.
But it says that you can only use it on a battle card with 15,000 or less power.
Okay.
You get to switch it to active mode. Because there was at one point when he was swinging where his Kaba had 11 stacks. Which was really silly that it was swinging like 60k base.
Yeah.
Before combos.
Yeah.
And I told my buddy that. He's like, doesn't it only work on 15k or less? And I'm like, oh. So, yeah.
There is, I think it's a card that's coming out later that says it's 15k or more. Is it the Bobbity? Comes out next set? Because I think it says specifically 15k or more. So he could still, there's still hope if he runs, he has, 3 energy just sitting out there.
Yeah, you're right. There is a Bobbity. That stands that back up.
Yeah, let's increase that price to $1.
Bobbity.
Yeah.
You play this card if your leader card is red. Choose one of your battle cards with 15,000 or more power.
Ooh, there we go. There we go.
Let's do it. Get that Kaba getting in there.
All right, it's a 1-turn combo. I just have to get to 6 energy.
Yeah. And then you get full powered, and then you feel bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can't get Revenge Death Ball because it actually gets stacked. So
that is correct. So one of the ways that people can actually play around Revenge Death Ball is with Sensu Bean.
Yes.
Like, yes, they can play Sensu Bean to play around their battle card dying. But Death Ball is still a 1-cost 25k combo.
Yes.
Essentially.
So
even though they are saving their battle card, more than likely their attack is not going to go through.
Yeah, and they're probably it's probably a waste of resources on that instead. So.
Right.
Because the bean applies the attack boost immediately, and is that true? And then you can additionally, even though you bean, you can put the bean on something else, so that can save a potential next attack or something. So if they had something with 15k, and you have something with like 20k attack, you can save your other guy later by doing that. Oh, go on.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, that was it. I was just talking about bean.
Okay. So you have the little cute interaction between intensifying power trunks and your awakened leader. Bodyguard Legic is also another free target for you to choose on your awakened leader side.
Yeah.
Because you get to play for free. If you have no battle cards and your opponent does have battle cards, you get to play for free.
Yeah.
And then you're never going to swing with it because you need blockers.
Yep. That's so important right now.
Yeah. So that's a free target. Another cute interaction is if you go first and you're playing against. So depending on what you play, very much so depends on what you're playing against.
Yeah.
Whether it's aggro or control. B, whether you're on the play or on the draw. That's also very important. And whether or not your mulligan actually pans out.
Yeah.
So if you're on the play versus an aggro deck like Harudigan or anything like that, it's actually safe to play a card on 1 and tap out.
Yeah.
If you're on the draw, it is not safe.
No.
It is definitely not safe to do that.
And in those situations, is it more important to have a Revenge Death Ball in hand or an Unending Awakening?
So a lot of it depends on the deck you're playing against. So if you're going against aggro, it's always good to try to mulligan for at least 1 Death Ball in your hand.
Yeah.
Unending Awakening really is only useful when you get to awaken.
That's true.
Having about 1 of each copy guarantees that you're going to survive that turn 2 kill.
Yeah.
Because Death Ball, you have to pick your spot that you're going to Death Ball.
Yeah.
And you have to make it as impactful as possible.
Yeah.
So one of my first strategies that I had when I was playing against the Harudigan or any Storm deck really was, okay, they'll swing at me with Bardock. Okay, that's fine. I'll go ahead and take it, and then they'll swap into their Goten, and then they'll swing at their Goten, and then I just immediately Death Ball their Goten.
Yeah.
The reason for that is because they essentially only have 7 copies of Goten in their deck.
Yeah.
That's the 4 Goten themselves, and then the 3 Planet Vegeta. The Bardock has those same 7 copies, but it also has Successor, so that adds another 4 copies.
And a lot of people are running Grandpa Gohan too now.
Right. So there's more cards to actually bring the Goten out than there are actually Goten. And if you can Death Ball a Goten early and they don't have a second one, you shut down their turn. And then you get your turn.
Yeah.
You can charge the necessary energy that you need to survive. Because the deck is just insane.
It's dumb. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Your main Union Absorb target for Baby is the Daily Training Vegeta. I actually really like the 2-drop draw card Daily Training Vegeta.
Yeah, I mean,
because it replaces itself, and it's actually strong enough on like it's not a 5-drop, or it's not a 5K card, it's a 10K card. So a lot of times what you can do is you can play the Baby on turn 1, and turn 2 you play the Daily Training Vegeta, you swing with Vegeta, you don't care if they negate or they take it.
Yeah.
And then you can Union Absorb, and because the 1-drop Baby is inactive, the 4-drop Same Strength Baby will also come out inactive.
Yep.
You basically get an extra swing, and I've actually baited out like Nimbuses with this. And then you can pick and choose what card you want to remove on their side of the field.
Yeah, I really like that kind of gameplay. Like this weekend, like I would right before like a Nimbus, not Nimbus, right before I would know like, oh, I'm gonna Zeno this turn or something. Like I'd always attack with like the 5K, and I was able to bait a Nimbus from someone once. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like, why on earth are you swinging with the 5K?
Like they're so nervous. They look over their life. There's like 2. Like, are they just gonna no one taps? Like, are they just gonna combo up a Champa? Like, immediately afraid, and then.
I mean, if you think about it, it's very dangerous.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
On their side, if they don't negate and you do dump your hand,
then
they're gonna feel really bad when they have that dead negate card in their hand.
So I think I see so many people like, afterwards like, why did you attack with that 5K? Like nothing was gonna happen. Like I know that, but you don't know that, and that's something that's really important.
Play the mind games.
Yeah. So, cool. Any other spice you'd like to?
I mean, other than you can sort of abuse the 1-drop Baby.
Yeah.
Or if you have multiple copies in your hand, you can you can Union Absorb Daily Training Vegeta into the 1-drop baby to bring out a 4-drop baby.
Yeah.
And then for just 1 energy, you can play another 1-drop baby. Then you swing with your 4-drop Saiyan Strength for 20 double strike. And then you can just Union Absorb the 4-drop, and put all of those cards underneath the 1-drop to bring out another 4-drop in active mode.
Yeah, and that's really powerful because not only are you doing some 20k double strike attacks, but you also don't like lose tempo because you get to blow up like their in-rest Gotens or something that.
Exactly.
So you get to attack their leader while also destroying cards on their field, which is, I think, really powerful.
And -20 is the perfect number.
Yeah, because that gets Bardock, which I think is probably the
Yes, it gets
scariest.
Bardocks, it gets Apes, it gets Bergamo. It gets
it gets active mode Vegetas, Vegetos.
Yeah, even though they're never.
Yeah, never. No, they're always working.
And Burst Attacks on Gohan is a bananas card. Just alone.
Yeah, it's one of my, like, there's a reason it's $20 right now. Like, it does a lot of work, and it's
like, if your opponent doesn't remove it, like, you pretty much put a "you need to kill me" like sticker on it.
Yeah, or else
for your opponent. Otherwise, they're gonna just fall so far behind.
Yeah, because I have +2 cards and you -1 card for the crit. So yeah, it's definitely. I ran a Universe 7. I think I already said a Vegeta Ultimate box, but so obviously I ran this card, and he definitely put in a lot of work this weekend. So, like, I remember I beamed him once just because, like, I could tell my opponent was really wanting to get him off the field and didn't have any hard removal for him.
Yeah. Which is another thing. A lot of decks don't run hard, like hard spot removal.
Sure.
So during my last round, the reason why I lost the first game is because I actually decked out in game 1.
Dang.
I was able to play a 6-drop Grade A baby on 4, and it stuck around for like 3 turns.
Oh, so you were drawing what, 2 extra cards every turn, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And it stuck around until it got Mafuba'd.
Oh. Dang.
And then he finally removed it with the Piccolo when he got to 6 energy.
Okay. The dish. Yeah. That's really silly though.
It was like he played it, and he's like, "Oh no." And then he had to read it. He's like, well,
"Oh no."
Annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess you can't play this. That card does get around Vegito because it only has barrier when it's in rest mode, right?
Yes.
So they can.
Any other barrier card, it does not kill.
Yes. But they cannot have an active mode Vegito or play a Vegito first their turn if this card's out.
Yes, that is correct.
So that's really neat.
Yeah, other than that, the only reason why this deck is competitive is because of Chain Zeno.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's a necessary evil in the current format. Being able to Chain Zeno on turn 2 when you're on the play against an SS3 deck that on their first turn they get to go up to like 10 or 11 cards in hand.
Yeah.
Playing that on turn 2 pretty much just guarantees you the game.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I've a lot of people are not happy with this card existing, and I don't like playing it. Like, I don't like having it in my deck because I feel like too many times it's just dead. But I think it's really necessary, and until we get some sort of other kind of evening mechanic, this is kind of the thing we have to run. So
yeah, and until the flute nerf rolls around, where people can actually play bigger board wipe cards, whether it be the 5-drop Ultimate Box Demigra, whether it be the 5-drop Black Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, whether it be Ultra Instinct Goku. I don't think Green has one. Does Green have one?
Uh,
A full board wipe that gets around barrier?
I don't think so. No, because there's not like a Broly card. The set one Broly only destroys like one or two things, right? I don't remember what it does. I never really saw that card see play. He's just the most thematically destroying card I can think of in green.
Yeah, I don't think.
Did he just do hands? Yeah, I think he just did. He just destroyed cards in hand.
Destroys your hand. Just
Yeah.
hand destruction.
Yeah.
Yeah, so green doesn't have an inherent card that gets around barrier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have to. What is it? The 6-drop. What's the Overwhelm Bardock? Right, it's the 6-drop one that Xeno evolves, and it clears everything of your opponents that's in rest mode. Is that?
No, it's anything that's 6 or more, which I think is why that card is tanked in price.
Oh no, not the one from the champion pack.
Oh,
the
5-drop one.
Yeah, the SS3.
Yeah. The one that Xeno evolves.
Yes.
Brings 5 back from the warp to your drop, and then it sends all of your opponent's battle cards to the warp.
Okay, yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. But I mean, they can run that, but I don't know. That's a tough 2-card combo for turn 5. But
well, so there's necessary evils, and Chain Xeno is one of them.
yeah, I definitely agree, and I feel like anyone who's calling for it to get hit by a ban list or anything just probably hasn't played Xeno in their own deck before and realized how much a pain it is.
Right.
Because you have to.
Like that, I don't know how many times I've needed like an extra 5K combo, and then your last card in your hand is Xeno.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Like, oh, Xeno, you're a god and the ruler of all the universes, and you don't have any combo power. Like what?
Yeah, if he did have the 5K combo, like he'd be pretty good. I wouldn't have any qualms about running him, but I think it was actually a really good design to have him have 0 combo power. Even though they couldn't have foreseen a chain attack being able to use with it, but I don't know, maybe they did.
Well, I think they have to if they design a card. As a card designer, you should be looking at every card that it can possibly bring out, and then you preemptively errata those cards if there's an issue.
Yeah, that's
how I think the game should be designed. So you don't run into these issues.
Yeah.
Where like Shugash being totally broken.
Yeah.
Rather than only bringing out yellow Saiyan cards.
I've been hearing people want swap being changed to like swap only works if your leaders go through lineage, or you can only swap once per turn or something like that. But
I think swap is a fine mechanic. It's the energy manipulation of Unyielding Spirit.
Yeah, I agree that can be really bad.
Yeah. And way back in the day, in set 2 meta, I actually the first deck I ever ran was Zamasu. And I would run Xeno the Plane God, and I would hard cast that bad boy for 7.
7 energy. What's that? What's far off land are you talking about?
Yeah, I would hard cast it for 7 against Cell.
And
then I would be forced to pray to the RNG gods that I would draw into a Xeno button so I could defend myself.
Oh yeah, Xeno button. Yeah. Good card.
And that those are fun times. Like it's definitely a 7 energy worth card for its effect.
Yeah.
Being able to play it for 2, I think, is kind of silly.
Yeah, I agree. So, anyways, I think that wraps up our baby discussion. Do you have any shout-outs or anything before we head out?
Just a big shout-out to Andrew East, who has been my playing partner for the past couple sets, I think. He's the one who originally got me into the game.
Okay, yeah.
From Pokemon. So, yeah, big shout-outs and big thank you to him.
And then you can't forget our mutual friend Kipp, too. Shout-outs to him as well.
Yes, I will actually make sure to remember him.
Yes.
Next time I see him.
Good.
So my next response when, oh, do you know Kipp, will be yes.
Definitely. So, all right. Well, thank you for joining me. Thank you, viewers/listeners, for viewing/listening. And I will catch you guys next time.